Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, and you are watching the Today Show. And it's great to start your Monday off. I love Monday mornings because, of course, Monday mornings we are all about empowerment, confidence building, uplifting messages, uplifting guests. And today I have a co-host, Virginia Clarke, to welcome to our stage. And also we have a guest host today, Sylvia Somerville from Niagara Falls, Ontario. And today, the ladies, we're going to have a discussion about the importance of having a vision and how to build a vision. And if you don't have one, well, life can be pretty boring. So we'll be talking about that. Let's see, do we have any announcements? Well, tomorrow, Dr. Ramin Modiri will be joining me for our finance show, and he's going to be talking about different cultures as it relates to money and superstitions about money. So that'll be a very fun show on Tuesday as well. Thank you to the Disability Channel for the opportunity to be here, streaming live right now on Laurie Davis Facebook page and also our two YouTube channels, Laurie Davis Show Host and 5 Minutes to No Limits. So you can be watching us live, or you can go there later on after the show and watch the show. And right now, with the addition of ourselves to Your Home TV in the United States, we are enjoying approximately 25,000 viewers every time we have an episode. So, wow, how cool is that? And of course, our special girl, Kathy Bell, is here to join us this morning. Good morning, Kathy. Always here to enjoy the shows. And Kathy is our backup person, and she's the person who edits shows, sends our shows off to Your Home TV. She does a lot of work behind the scenes to help make the show successful. So thank you, Kathy, on behalf of everybody who gets to participate and enjoy the Today Show. All right. Well, let's just welcome our co-host, Virginia Clarke, to the stage. Virginia, it's so great to have you back. Look at you, looking so beautiful.
Thank
Good
you.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Yes, happy Monday is right. It is truly right. And, you know, Virginia, you've been extremely open about your recent cancer diagnosis of breast cancer. And I just want to tell you how proud I am of you for being so transparent about it, because a lot of people would not have the courage to do that. So to get started this morning, how has that supported you to be open about your situation and the good news at the end, of course? Over to you.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I wasn't sure about posting at first, but I have so much family spread out. So for me, it was convenient. It was a convenient way to let everyone know what was going on. I did have to reach out in the beginning to ask about hereditary things as well. So, you know, it kind of started there, but it's just to let someone know that it doesn't matter what you're going through, you can get through it. There's always going to be someone to support you. And I found that, you know, if anyone else is going through it, then you guys, we can collaborate and say, hey, what works for you? What doesn't? What have you been going through? And support each other as well. So it's been a huge support. It's been, like I say, for me, it was a convenient way to let everyone know, hey, this is what's going on. And I found after a while, if I didn't post something, then I'd start getting messages from family. Hey, how's it going? How are you doing?
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, it's time to post something. But I found with my good news, something is like they call it like a survivor's guilt when you're going through cancer, something I've read up on. Because I know people who have lost from cancer. So the last post wasn't as quick going out as any of the other ones were for that reason. But then I thought, well, my situation is different than everyone else's situation. And I'm going to, put out there that positive aspect about cancer as well. The fact that, yes, you ring the bell after chemo and radiation and stuff like that, but there is good news. There is good news. you stay positive, you stay focused. Throughout it, I visually, today we're talking about vision building, and I visualized the tumor shrinking. I would meditate and visualize that. So and just the love and support and prayers from everyone has been amazing. It's been an interesting and amazing journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Just to bring our viewers up to speed, because I know that many of them have been following your story, and that's really empowering and exciting. All right, well, let's bring in our guest host from Niagara Falls, Ontario, the very special Sylvia Somerville. Good morning, Sylvia.
Good morning, Laurie and Virginia, and thank you for having me on here today. It's fantastic.
Great. And you've gotten a little bit, just let's bring you up to speed. Let's bring everybody up to speed with the Hurricane Ernesto on the East Coast coming up from Bermuda and so on. And I think Nova Scotia, my neck of the woods, was experiencing some weather. What about you, Sylvia? I think you mentioned that.
We have had nasty weather all weekend since about Friday. And there's been a few tornadoes go through. One went through Stevensville, Fort Erie, about 40-minute drive from here. Yesterday, another one took off the roof of a home hardware store up near Guelph. Again, not too far from here. So yeah, it's been pretty nasty and flooding. Toronto had 128 point something milliliters of rain. It showed cars on the 40 on the highways. And the cars, the water was up to the windows. It just flooded so quickly. It just came down so fast.
Wow.
Today it's just cool and sprinkly.
Mm-hmm. Cool and sprinkly. All right. Well, today, Mondays, we always like to do something that's inspiring and motivational and empowering. And today we decided to talk about the importance of having a vision. And we all have the ability to visualize. When we're children, they say things like, "Oh, you have an overactive imagination," or "What do you mean you want to be an astronaut when you grow up?" It's almost, in a way, sometimes poo-pooed, in terms of being appropriate, having a vision. So, and of course, even scripturally, the Bible says a man, and I imagine a woman too, without a vision will perish. So there's been lots of studies around being able to manifest things, bring things into fruition. So we're going to just touch on all of that and the above. And first of all, let's ask the ladies their opinion. And if you're watching and you want to text to us, we'll put your texts up. And when we ask the questions, you can have an answer also. It's not just us here on the show. So let's talk a little bit about why you think it's important for us to be able to visualize and have a vision for whatever that is, whether it's health, finances, family, all of the areas of our life. So Virginia, you want to start us off why that's important?
Absolutely. For me, I'll look at the health aspect because I had to see that I would overcome this and that I could, because I still have so much to do. So much to do. It's important to have that vision and that positivity because it helps you overcome those hurdles that you have to jump through. You can go down those rabbit holes where it's just negative, but that has nothing to do with your experience. You make your experience, the way you make it. You're either going to stand up and you're going to fight and you're going to see that light at the end of the tunnel, or you're just going to go down that rabbit hole and stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's,
for me,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we must have always something in front of us to look forward to. Over to you, Sylvia. Why is it important for us to have a vision and to be able to visualize?
Well, quite frankly, I can't imagine a day when you just get up and you don't think about anything or have plans or you have to envision things. You have to, if you want to make it happen, you have to believe in you. And you, like I envision, and the day is coming, I envision being a #1 bestseller, not just a bestseller, but a #1 bestseller. And again, my vision is not to be a bestseller because I want to be, noticed or things like this. I want to be a bestseller because then I know that somehow I'm reaching out to people and hopefully inspiring them, empowering them, and making kids laugh with the kids' books. And that's my vision, to make all this happen. And I think each one of us has to have a purpose, a reason. So you envision what you want to be. And you can do it. Just go for it.
Yes. Well, I believe when we get out of bed in the morning, if we don't have something to look forward to, then we just crawl back into bed.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So, and it's our responsibility to create that for ourselves. And I always use the analogy, if there's certain things that you can't do, others cannot do for you. They cannot go to the bathroom for you. They cannot make your decisions. We are responsible for that.
Yeah.
So many years ago, we developed a corporate vision that's only got 3 words: world well-being. And the other benefit, how I'll answer the question why it's important, is because when you have those days that you're mixed up or you're tired or you're confused or you don't know what to do next, you go to your vision. Like I go to that vision statement, world well-being. If everything I'm doing is putting that in motion, then that gives me purpose. And that's why I get up every day. And it's one person at a time. We can't save everybody. One family at a time, one community at a time. And I know when I leave, and when all of us leave, our people say to me all the time, "Can you help me find my purpose?" Well, your purpose is to make a difference.
Yeah.
And to help others. That's why we're here. We're here to help each other. So if you're not doing that, then you're probably depressed. You're probably having anxiety attacks. You're probably drinking too much. You're probably smoking too much. You're probably shopping too much. You're doing all the wrong stuff. So a vision keeps us on track. So that's why I think it's really important to have that vision. So who am I going to leave feeling better today? Well, with the 3 of us being on the show, hopefully everybody who watches the show is going to feel better today
Yes.
after we're done with them, right? Because that's what Monday's all about.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's ask this question.
Mhm.
How do we know? Like, see, a lot of people have given up on me, but the thing is, I never gave up on me. Right? Haven't we had that experience? If you've got family out there, you've been given up on. Trust me. Okay. So others might have given up on us, but the key is we don't give up on us. So having a vision helps us with that too. It's really important. But our next question is, how do you know that you can make things come true? How do you know that whatever you envision, you could make happen? So what has been your experiences around that? How about you, Sylvia? Go ahead.
Well, everyone knows me as somebody who always tries to do the impossible. They think it's impossible, but I don't. And my good example would be when I started up a monthly periodical, a little magazine. And I talked to friends about it. I'm going to do this. And they said, "Well, what do you know about doing it?" I said, "Nothing." "Well, how are you going to do it?" And they were all, "Oh, that'll never work. You're silly to go with that. It's a waste of time." So I said nothing. I went home and I made up a mock copy of what my periodical would look like. I laid out ad sizes, prices, etc. Then I went out in the community and I sold ads. And some of them were very optimistic, wondering about would this happen or not, because what do you know about it? Nothing, but I didn't tell them that. So I told them, I said, I guarantee you, you take this ad, and if you don't like the periodical, if you don't like the ad I've designed, which I'd get your approval before I print it, I said, then you don't have to pay.
Hmm.
I took that risk. I could have lost a lot of money in that, but you know what? I knew within here, I know within me, this is what I want to do. This will work. And you know what? It went forward from then. And when I had to end it, when my husband got ill, I had 10,000 editions going out every month.
Fantastic.
Wow, that's fantastic.
I believed in me and I knew it would happen. Never mind the people telling you you can't do it.
Right.
If you want it, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So part of knowing that we can envision other things is because we've had success in the past, you see.
Yes.
And everybody out there has done something, whether it was bring up a family, make it on your own. We've all had successes, but people are not, forget that. We forget, what we've managed to accomplish. Over to you, Virginia.
I will pull on that, Laurie, and the certificates behind me and go with that story because I love to learn. And it excites me to do and learn new things. But, when you keep all your certificates hidden away in a drawer, as we know, that's a lack of self-worth. So hanging them on the wall for me was a big, big step to acknowledge what I have accomplished over the years. And just, stepping into my self-worth and knowing, hey, you know what? I rock. I'm good at this. And just because my brain likes different things. So I find unique things to learn about. And sometimes you get a certificate and, when you do the workshops with self-worth and you get those beautiful certificates like those, it's important to pat yourself on the back and show your accomplishments because you've done that. You've gotten through it. You've done the work. You've, read the stories, done whatever you had to do. And yeah, absolutely. Pat yourself on the back. Hang them on the wall. Brag.
Exactly. All right. Well, we're going to take a little break, and then I'll come back and talk about my own little bit around that. But we're going to take a little 30-second break, and we'll be right back. And I can't wait when I can say we'll be right back after this message.
The day is set. Join us October 12th, 2024 at Carrigan Arms for our next fundraiser in honor of veterans, the Invictus Games in British Columbia, Canada, and TDC Employment Program enrollment. For more information, email us at info@thedisabilitychannel.ca.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Today Show here on the Disability Channel. And just visualize yourself in that little block of time promoting or advertising your products, your programs, your services. Mm-hmm. And so we're working on a few right now, and we'll get them out there in September. I can't wait for August to be over. There's a mentality like it's been had a busy summer, but gosh, when it gets to this time, I'm all itchy because I have all these things I want to do. But having said that, for me, all we have to do is look at all that we've accomplished. And I would challenge each of you out there to make a list of your top 10 accomplishments so far. Mm-hmm. 10 things that you've done that you're really proud of, whether mm-hmm. that was get married, have your babies, graduate from high school, write a book, be a bestseller, like make a list.
Exactly.
And I've had a lot of accomplishments when I stop and think about it. There's more than 10 for sure. Sometimes my accomplishment was getting up out of bed and getting through the day.
Yeah.
When I was in a dark place, that's an accomplishment. And you live to tell the tale and talk about it later on. And so we all have what I call a track record. And you might not know that. You might not think that, but you do. Every single person has a track record of success, things that you did that made a difference. for someone else. Maybe you took care of your aging parents. Maybe you took care of, like Sylvia, your husband who was sick. Maybe we've all done wonderful things. But it's very difficult for us to recognize that when we're busy looking at what we don't have and what we don't do and what we don't want. And as Sylvia alluded to, and Virginia as well, all those naysayers. People told me there was absolutely no way I could help other people without a psychology degree and expect to make money. That was just virtually impossible. And I said, I don't think so. And we all know the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we all have a track record. So that's where we get our security, that we can do other things. If I got through that and I got through that and I got through that, now what's next? I can hardly wait for my last chapter because I'm going out with a bang, man. Okay? It's going to be bigger and better than anything I've ever done. So now what I'd like to ask is, what is it that we have left to do before we go? And when you're seniors like Sylvia and I, we're on a timeline, but that doesn't mean anything because some people can die younger than us. So we're all on a timeline. So before you leave the planet, what's a couple of things you'd really like to do before you leave? Anybody? Virginia, you want to go?
For me, absolutely. I want to just see my son happy, married, be a grandma. That's one of my goals, so yeah, absolutely. And just keep helping people. I will do what I can until the day I take my last breath. Just keep helping people. Yeah.
Sylvia, what about you?
Well, I would really like to see my daughter settled and be ready for retirement. It's a big thing, and a lot of us don't think about it until we're there, and then we think, oh my goodness, why didn't I? But as well as that, I really feel sad when any of us, when you drive around the cities, all these people living in tents, sleeping, in doorways. Like, there has to be an answer to that. Especially in the winter, they must freeze to death out there. And there aren't enough, I would love somehow, I don't know how, but I'm sure if we envision it, it can happen. Somehow everyone will have a place to live, a comfortable place, and enough food to eat. Because I hate to say this, but sometimes when I drive around the city, it looks like a third world country in some areas. And that just isn't a good thing. So I'm envisioning that everyone will have a place to live, they will have food, and there won't be any of these tent cities going up anymore.
Well, that just reminds me, I'm writing it down. A couple of years ago, I interviewed the mayor of Medicine Hat, Alberta. And there are no homeless people in Medicine Hat, Alberta.
Wow.
And he devised a system where if anybody was on the street, that the community was responsible to get them to the central location where they had one door where they go through. And then inside that door, all the services that they may need are there. And they get sent to where, so if they need food or if they need a place to stay or if they need medical care. So it can happen. And I asked him, how did you do that? And he said, and I'm hoping this is still the situation. Well, he said most communities, they work in silos. So you have your education silo and you have your medical silo and then you have your, housing silo, and nobody is working together. They all have their own little departments that they're in charge of and their autonomy. So he said, we broke down those silos and got people in the agencies working together so that if a homeless person came to the food, to get food, and that person realized they didn't have a place to stay, then they got referred over to the housing. And so they never left that place without getting all the services they need. So it's possible. It's been done. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
That's another whole show. We should do a show on that. And I don't know who the mayor is now, but I'm going to make a call. I just wrote it down. All right. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I guess for me, what I have left to do is get my books published. I have, 5 or 6 good books that I know could get published, be bestsellers. It's getting that time to write them. And I had a vision in the night. Would you like to hear it? For my future, because I think I was thinking about the show and envisioning. So 2 things happened. My French popped up last night. As I was speaking in the night, it was in French, and I was talking French, and I do speak French. And I was in French immersion when I was 6. I was probably historically the first kid ever in French immersion. I don't know. But my family moved to the north of Quebec, and the only school was a French Catholic convent. So I was immersed, and in 3 months I was bilingual. So that happened last night, but I also have a vision now for myself that I will be going to universities, schools of social work, anybody who's taking a psychology degree, and I'm going to get myself invited to come in and be a guest lecturer to share the component of self-worth and why they must have that in order to be effectively counseling others. What do you think of that vision?
That's beautiful. I love it.
That came to me last night because none of that formal training has a self-worth component. I've already checked it. So I'm going to be a guest lecturer.
Good.
So if you have any university contacts out there, ladies and gentlemen, please let me know. And I think it would be quite a wonderful thing to do, for me to do, and get them on board. Get them on board.
Absolutely.
So let's go to this place because it came up for you. You'd like to see your son happy, and you'd like to see your daughter happy, but isn't it interesting how we can have a vision for other people, and other people may have visions for us, but sometimes why is it difficult for us to see our own vision for our own self? Now, you ladies wouldn't be part of that tribe, but just speaking about a lot of our viewers out there or people out there, why do you think it's difficult for them to have a vision that's supportive, lucrative, loving, all the good stuff? When you think about the energy it takes to find your next fix, imagine if that energy was put into doing something productive, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think it is people have a problem with, Mark Victor Hansen used to say to us, create a vision that would be like Sylvia, create a vision that others would see as impossible, and then you're on to something.
Yeah.
So what's the problem? What's the challenge, do you think?
I think people don't think they're worth it. It's that lack of self-worth, that lack, and that's why. Why would they try? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Our Mondays are all about that self-love, self-care, self-worth, self-empowerment. And when you don't have those things or don't feel like you can achieve those things, then yeah, like you said, if you don't have a reason to get out of bed in the morning, you're going to crawl back in bed.
Yeah. I've heard many times throughout my life, especially with young people and young adults or older people, the reason they don't have a vision, a lot of them will say, well, I grew up like this. I've always been poor. I never had a good job. I never this, I never that. And they have that in their mind that they can't. Yeah. And they haven't learned how to, as Virginia said, to love themselves enough to say, you know what? I am going to break this cycle. Sure, you may have grown up, in, not a really good atmosphere, but now you're an adult. Now it's up to you. Don't blame your parents or this or that situation. You have to blame you because you're responsible now as an adult. envision your life and go after it. And never mind saying, oh, I can't this and I can't that.
Yeah.
Do it.
And I think too, we all need mentors. And, our parents are our most impressionable teachers until we become adults. But then we have to become our own best therapist or our own best friend or our own best mentor.
Yeah.
And mentors save us time. They save us money. I've had some very good mentors in my life who took me from one path and put me in another path and said, okay, no, this is the way to go, because I did that and this is what happened to me. And you don't want that to happen to you. But we are such slow learners. We have to make all the mistakes ourselves. Right?
Yeah.
But your parents are only responsible until you're 18, and that's it. They should be off the hook after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That, 18, 20, and then you're on your own and you make your own mistakes and you do your own thing. Because, who wants to be parenting when they're 90? I don't think that's Sylvia, really, do you want to be parenting right now? No.
Absolutely not.
No. Right?
Yeah.
But we're all mentors here at the Today Show. So, all right. So let's take a little break, and when we come back, I'll have another magical question.
Introducing Veteran House Alliance International Monthly 50/50 Raffle. Purchase your ticket today, link on display, and have a chance to win cash and help a great platform supporting veterans. We welcome you to advertise and promote your goods and services, and/or brand your logo to 34 million subscribers on Canada Talks 167. Your investment will go towards our employment programs in the media industry for persons with disabilities and veterans.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Today Show here on Monday, Motivational Monday, where we talk about self-worth, self-love, empowerment, maybe a good little kick in the butt at the same time, right? We'll give you a little kick in the butt. That's what mentors do. So, Virginia, I'm going to rely on you for the next few minutes because you have the notes in front of you and I don't. But there's actually 5 ways to get started in developing a vision for yourself. And that's what I love about who we are. We don't tell you, you should do this and you should do that without the toolkit to go ahead and try and do it. And that's what Monday's all about, is giving you tools and techniques. So how do I get started with developing a vision? So number 1, what do we have to do, Virginia?
We have to look inside. Where does our creativity or our desires reside?
They're inside of us. And I used to teach a class on, a lot of people think the money is out there somewhere. This would be a business-related entrepreneurial class. They think the money's out there. No, the money's in here, right? Money does not generate great ideas. It's great ideas that generate money. So what do you know about coming from the inside out, Sylvia? When you wrote that very first little story or poem that you wrote when you were how old?
I was 7.
7.
7 years old. And I wrote a little verse poem. And my dad and mom always, they realized that I was very creative, and they actually nurtured that by submitting my little poem to a newspaper. And when it was bedtime stories, they would read to my siblings. But I can still see them coming in, and my dad might say, tell me a story about a dog, or tell me a story about, I don't know, whatever. And they said I would just pop right up, and I had the story even when I was little. So yeah, they helped bring that out in me, but it was still up to me to realize that I had that talent and to go after it. And as I've said previously, My dream was to become a journalist and a writer. Well, I graduated high school at 15. I won a scholarship, but I couldn't accept it because, it was still just after World War II, and I'm not that old, but it was in the 50s. And there was just no way my parents could afford, the room and your keep and everything at school, so I couldn't go. But I didn't give up. That's when I got busy and I wrote my first book. And I was hired as a correspondent without a university degree.
Mm-hmm.
They never asked for it. I never told them I didn't have it.
Well, good for you. My gosh. So yeah, things start inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Inside here.
Inside. Yeah. And mine came, I've never shared this, I don't think. I brought this up the other day to Ron. When I graduated from the Nova Scotia Teachers College in 1970, I was the class valedictorian. And there were 2,500 people there that day. All of the parents and the families of all of us. And I got up front and I talked about the value of being brought up well, having good parents. And I thought, geez, I'd like to do this for a living. Right? Yeah. Speaking in a crowd, I could do it. I could do it. And I had it. And I could hold a crowd for a whole day if I had to. So that was inside of me, though. And interestingly enough, my dad in World War II was with the Signal Corps. And communication was his area of expertise. He could type 90 words a minute on a manual typewriter.
Wow.
Yeah. So that whole thing about the communication, and I still have 2 letters that he wrote me in 1959. He was away working, and he had the most beautiful penmanship. And he wrote me letters. He was up north and sent letters to me to, that I be a good girl and help take care of mom and all this kind of stuff. So communication has always been inside of me. The ability to connect with people and help people feel comfortable. And then I thought, well, how do I build a business out of that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. 32 years ago. Mm-hmm. So yes, inside. So go inside and figure out what it is you love to do. Mm-hmm. Help others, write, create, draw, communicate, and then find a career that pays you to do that. That's our job as an adult.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Number 2, look back. Learn from your mistakes and mistakes that others make.
Mm-hmm. And we've already talked about that, haven't we? Yep. Look back and see what you've already accomplished. Learn from your mistakes. Number 3.
Look outside. So who's your support? Who's around you that can help you? Yeah. Who's there? Who can you count on?
Yes, who can you count on? Who supports you 1,000%? Well, I would have to say Virginia Clarke and Sylvia Somerville are 2 people in my life that have my back and support me 1,000%. You girls have done that ever since the day I met you. And I hope you feel that way from my side of the fence. Absolutely. And, that's what makes our group such fun. And we're there for each other.
Yes.
So some people don't have your back, though.
No.
And you need to know who they are, and you need to get away from them.
And it doesn't matter if it's family or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We talk about that quite a bit. And the next one, of course, is one reason why we're talking about this today. Looking forward, our manifesting, our visions.
We'll
do we
get back
journal?
to, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Virginia. What was that one again?
Believing in ourselves, setting our intentions, starting small.
And that was look
forward.
Look forward.
Look forward.
And then Kathy has a question, so I'm going to bring that up at the end here, Kathy.
Okay.
So looking forward, if we're stuck in denial, anger, unforgiveness, bitterness, resentment, regret, it's difficult to look forward. What do you ladies know about that? Because we've all been in those places.
Yeah. Yeah.
If everybody out there thinks that we three girls just arrived here on a silver platter, we have news for them, okay? Because that is not the case.
We worked hard. We're still
Yeah.
working hard. We are still working hard.
So how do we look forward when we're stuck?
Yeah, if just one, one step at a time, be specific, have one specific goal in mind. And, for me, just getting up, make the bed. Boom, one goal done, one thing done, right? It just propels you forward to accomplish more. Just get, one step at a time. It doesn't have to be your whole to-do list done in one day. What doesn't get done today gets done tomorrow. And if it doesn't get done tomorrow, it gets done the next day. It's, just giving yourself that grace, especially if you're going through something, giving yourself that grace, but don't give up. Mm-hmm. Don't give up. Find someone outside, look outside who supports you, who can, let's go for coffee. I need to talk to you. Boom. Done. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about you, Sylvia? What would you suggest to our viewers who may be stuck in one of those very hard places and it's hard to look forward when you're there?
It is. And actually a good example is when I moved to Niagara Falls, I no longer have a car. I've lost my driver's license for, vision issues. And I thought the first week I was here, I'm organizing, and I really had thought, now what do I do? I can't get in my car and go wherever I want, whenever I want. I used to be out going to the hotels, promoting books, and I thought, and then I kind of smartened up. I thought, you know what? You've done this before. You've been in worse situations than this. This is nothing. I got my health. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm creative. So out of the blue, I make friends wherever I go, by the way. And the day after I arrived, the lady across the hall, she is, hi, how are you doing? You need something? Ask. So what do? If I need to go somewhere, I ask. Mm-hmm. And I have no issues at all. I look forward to what I need. What do I need? I need to keep writing. I need to write my next bestseller. I need to make a difference. And now my writing is a little bit different because as we progress and as we go through our tough times, we see things that other people haven't seen yet. So if you write about it and they read and they think, you know what, I could do that. And so, yeah, you always have to look forward and get up and do it, even if you don't feel like it, because there's days you don't. But you do it anyway. Force yourself.
Well, one of my mentors, Mary Kay Ash, she told us one time, she said, 3 things will keep you going. Someone to love, even if it's your dog. Someone to love. Doing what you love. So in other words, don't be participating in anything that you don't love to do. And something to look forward to every day. So you make a plan. What have I got to look forward to tomorrow? And you make sure that happens. And then you've got a plan every day for the next day. Just one day at a time. It doesn't have to be a 5-year plan, right? But we've all been programmed that way. You got to have a 5-year plan, No. One day at a time.
Yeah.
All right. The last one, Virginia.
And our last one is look at support. So the one beautiful thing that we like, just showing up and asking, do you have a group you can rely on? Friends, family, anyone like that, yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Because if you don't support yourself, then
well, the thing is with that self thing, it goes back to, if we do not respect ourselves, we're giving other people permission to disrespect us.
Absolutely.
And if we don't support ourselves and do things that support us just by ourselves, that gives other people permission not to bother as well.
Exactly.
So it all starts with us, right, Sylvia?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my biggest supporters, my best supporters, are right here in front of me.
Oh,
Front
wow.
of you. Seriously.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As you know, when my husband died 8 years ago now,
Wow.
I was really lost. And it may sound a little bit silly, but Laurie found me out of the blue. Seriously, I got that call. Did I want to be on her show? And I'm thinking, who is this lady?
Well, you thought I was a scam. Tell the whole story, you know.
Yeah, and I thought she was a scammer, right? Because there's so many scams going around. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll be on your show. And she asked for a date. I gave her a date, and I thought, oh yeah, whatever. But then a week, she said, I'll contact you prior to the show. So about a week later, she calls and she says, you know, this is what we're gonna do. Blah. And I thought, oh my God, it's not a scam. And that just gave me, believe it or not, it just made me feel, wow, like, how did this happen?
Mhm.
And then from then on, it's just been fantastic ever since. And it brought me out of where I was. I was
Yeah.
trying to write, but I just couldn't keep at it. But here's Laurie. She doesn't know me from Adam. She's been following me. She loves my work, and that was the beginning of the beginning, my new chapter, my new life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, thank you for that.
Seriously,
But
and
I
even
just-
after our team meetings, you know, when we have our team meetings, I
Mhm.
feel so uplifted, and because we all have so much to share. So
Mhm.
yes, that's my support.
Yep.
Mhm. Well, thank you.
I agree.
You're welcome.
100%. I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah. Especially going through, the cancer treatments and stuff like that, and coming in and just, our group, nobody judges you, even if you look like death warmed over, which some days I did, and felt like, but it's that comfort and that love and that connection that keeps you going. Absolutely. Yeah.
And when you have that kind of support, and I feel the same way about you girls too. And when you have that kind of support, it just goes, we could do anything.
Yep.
I can do anything that I decide because I have people around me who are going to help me make it happen.
Yeah.
Because we can't climb the high mountains by ourselves. We need help.
Yeah.
But I was one of those people, oh no, I'm good. I can do it on my own. I'm fine. I've been an independent woman my whole life. I don't need you. I don't know how many people I've blown out the window. And they would probably say, well, yeah, right. Okay, then. So when somebody offers to help you, say, yes, that sounds wonderful. All right, Kathy has a good question here.
Okay.
Oh,
Never.
never. What do you mean never? I wonder if we inherit the talents of our parents and we can develop them further. I'd like to comment on that. You girls think about that. Okay, first of all, a gift is different than having a talent.
Mm-hmm.
We all come with just maybe one, if we're lucky, two gifts. So the gift of writing, the gift of communication, the gift of hospitality, the gift of support and helping others, the gift of music, the gift of art, that's in our DNA. We come with that. But a lot of people go through life and do not get to experience their gift because they're too busy trying to make a living at something they hate.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a talent is something that we can become really good at because we learn it. So I might decide I'd like to oil paint. So I go take some lessons and find out, wow, I'm pretty talented. I can do this. But it didn't come as a gift. I can't go to the piano and strike out a tune, but I can read music and I can play sort of. So that's not a gift. But if I practice, that could be a talent.
Absolutely.
So what about getting it from our parents? I think there is a DNA inheritance on a certain level. And if it was nurtured and encouraged, like Sylvia's mom and dad, Sylvia came with the gift of writing, and that's where she went. So she's been working and living in her gift her whole life. And that's a very privileged life, I think, because not a lot of people pursue their gifts because some well-intentioned teacher or guidance counselor said, what? You want to make a living playing the guitar? You'll never make a living playing the guitar.
Yeah.
Well, what a big lie. Ask Paul McCartney about that. Right?
Yeah.
But you see, other people put their values on us and their impositions and their beliefs, and then that limits us or stops us from pursuing a life in our gift.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we learn that, right?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I don't know if we answered your question or not, Kathy. Inherit the talents. No, whatever, you don't inherit talents, but you could inherit a gift.
Yeah.
It's like Hank Williams Sr. He has a grandson. There's Hank Williams the first, then Hank Williams the second, his son, and then his son.
Yeah.
Looks like him, plays like him, sings like him, old Hank Williams.
Yeah.
So I say he inherited that gift that came through the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
You girls have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, both my parents were very creative. Very creative, and in completely different ways. My dad worked with wood, and I love to work with wood, and my mom artistic, like you said, the painting, the drawing, anything like that. Yeah, so both of them very, very creative. I'll say creative in their
and
own
we all
ways.
know you're artsy fartsy.
Yes, I am. Right? And it is. I love it. I love being able just to get lost and go do those things that I love to do. So, and it is about just a passion and a joy and just finding what you love to do. You know, where do those creativity, those desires reside? Yeah.
And a gift is something that you don't have to work at. It just comes naturally. So we don't really give it the value that we should because it's like eating lunch to us. Other people go, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. And you go, oh, well, it's that's how you know it's a gift. It's just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But if you have to work at it, it's not a gift.
Yeah. And a talent, because both my dad played guitar. A lot of my dad's family play guitar. My mom self-taught herself how to play guitar by watching my dad. And I have a guitar and just don't have that talent. No. So
Sylvia, you're one of the privileged few. You got to live out your dream in your gift area. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but I think you are.
I am very much. And also, it wasn't just writing. Both my mom and dad were very creative in their own way. My mom did dressmaking and anyhow, she was a, they have an award or whatever it's called for piano, and she taught piano lessons. So we grew up, I played piano, cello, and bagpipes, and she had us in dancing, and we had to do all these different dancing, but it helped build your muscle, your balance. My mom was Russian Ukrainian, so we had to do those cultural dances. My dad was British, so we had to do Scotch dancing. And I remember one time at a recital, I kicked the sword right off the stage. I had some learning to do.
You know what? Stick with your gift. Stick with your gift. Okay. I don't want to be in the front row when the sword comes flying off the stage.
I'm a writer. I'm an author.
Yeah, you're a writer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Kathy said I'd love to have the gift of a fabulous memory, and that's something you practice and you learn by paying attention when people are speaking, right? And doing all kinds of things. I think that's a learned one, Kathy. That's a learned one.
Yeah.
No, I lie. No, it's not. My dad had the gift of memory. He was a purchasing agent for a big oil refinery, and I've told this story 100 times. And he'd get a phone call on the weekend and they'd say, Fred, we need a 3/4 inch washer. Which bin is it in? And this was pre-technology. Okay. And my dad could say, it's in bin 56784. There's 43 of them left. Please make sure you put that on the clipboard. So I could order one on Monday. Yeah. He had that all up here.
Yeah.
he was amazing with numbers, facts, all that.
But
And I'm like that.
that's a talent.
It
That's
is.
a talent. That's a,
Yeah.
you know, or a gift in a sense, right?
That was his gift.
We could call that
Anything
a
to do
gift.
with
Yeah.
communication.
You know, the photographic memory, that's a gift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies, I hope we've inspired, empowered, and uplifted a few people this morning. And thank you for watching.
Mhm.
Our time is up. So
That's
anything,
crazy.
words of encouragement you'd like to say before we go? Sylvia, a couple of words of encouragement for people around their vision.
Just believe in yourself. Whatever it is you want to do, tell yourself deep inside you can do it. And then don't let anyone stop you. Just keep working at it. You're going to make mistakes, but they aren't mistakes. They're teaching you something.
Right.
So
Thank
go
you.
for it. Never give
Go
up on you.
Absolutely. Virginia?
I would say just be specific about your goals. You know, for me with the health, that's what I was focusing on. That's my goal right now, is to get healthy, to get strong. So that is exactly what I'm focusing on. I'm not all over the place. That's my goal. Be specific. My goal is to fight this, beat this, do whatever I need to do, and I am on my way.
Well, I like the front cover of my new journal from our colleague, Jill Young-Husband. And she gave me this beautiful journal for my birthday. And she said she believed she could, so she did. And she said, that's you, Laurie Davis. I said, okay, thank you. All right. Well, everybody have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow with Dr. Amin Modiri, and we're going to talk about money, culturally different beliefs that people have about money, and some superstitions that exist about money. So I can't wait for that list. He's
Yes.
always very well researched, and that will make for a great show. And tomorrow also too, an hour after that, we have the press box with former NHLer Doug Smith, and we'll be on the press box tomorrow together as well. So Tuesday's a busy show day.
Busy day.
All right. So bye for now, everyone.
Bye-bye.
If you never sipped a Coke from a cold glass bottle, drank water from a garden hose, if you're an addict for AM static, craving that country gold, if you never, ever wrote a love letter or used a phone with a dial, let me say a little personal touch never goes out of style. I might not play as fast as you, but I'm still having a ball. You just need some time to catch up to me, that's all. Let me bring you up to speed on cool. I can tell you're new to old school. My truck's got cranked down windows, AC, 'cause I'm into stuff that works. And I still bring my old King James with me to church. My favorite kind of pie is moon, my favorite sound is twang. Even though we're worlds apart, it's okay, we can hang. I might not play as fast as you, but I'm still having a ball. You just need some time to catch up to me, that's all. Let me bring you up to speed on cool. I can tell you're new to old school. Boys turn into their daddies, girls turn into their mothers. Won't be long till you'll be saying age is just a number. I might not play as fast as you, but I'm still having a ball. You just need some time to catch up to me, that's all.